So anyway, this movie happened and we started it and I was like, I'm not sure about this. But then as it goes, I really started to appreciate it. And I started to feel the vibes of it. And it really just keeps one-upping itself and yes-anding itself. There's a lot of CG in this movie, but it's charmingly silly.
It knows what it is. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Early versions of computer animated special effects for movies, they would put all of their efforts into like maybe one sequence and it was beautiful, but it didn't really match the aesthetic of the rest of the movie. So like a lot of times they would figure out like, what if we kept everything at like a B or a C, the whole movie, people wouldn't feel like they saw something big and then small. It would just all be the same level. This movie knows that. It's like everything will be at this level. It's going to contextually and consistently be this kind of special effects, these kind of camera angles. Like it's really stylish.
Cultpop! One, I learned
What
how
did
to
we
count.
win?
Huh?
Oh, hey, what's up? And good evening, sidekicks, henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation. And thank you for tuning in, for getting up, walking from your couch to your tiny little TV and going click, 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 in order to tune into one of the longest running pop culture and comic book podcast, Pokemon Go Playing Demon Hunters, Cultpop Podcast Live episode 111.
Oh, that's a good number.
If you're new here, welcome. This is a place where we talk about comics and movies and TV and games and thrillers with 6 chapters.
As well as references to old television devices you probably don't know what we're talking about.
Ask your great-great-grandparents what I was
know.
referencing.
Don't look at me like that.
No. I get it. What? Just a normal remote control, right?
Yeah.
What?
So no, hang on. It's a normal remote control.
Yeah.
Like what most people had most people that are watching this, that's what they had in their houses.
Yeah.
The idea of having to get up to go change the channels
Oh, no, I had
because
to do
remote
that.
controls didn't exist. But then also the first remote controls were still wired and there were just click buttons.
Yeah.
That's why I still call it a clicker.
Ka-chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ka-chunk.
To this day, I still call it a clicker, and people are like, "What?" I'm like,
Well,
"It's
Yeah,
a
we had a
clicker."
TV where you
Yeah,
had
it's a
to
clicker.
push the buttons.
'Cause it
I
was
think
the-
it had a remote, but it just didn't work, so I always had to just go push the
It
button.
was like 4 buttons, and you know what? Back in the day, world was great.
Oh, yeah, no problems then.
No problems then.
Nothing
Let's
was-
let's go back to then because nothing else was wrong, and everyone had
As
to
long
watch
as you
the
had a
same.
clicker.
As long as you had a clicker and you have watched the same thing, everyone in America at the same time.
Anyway, we're broadcasting in real time from Young Chunk HQ, a bomb-ass podcasting production space in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I guess good things that are green are happening, and we're going to go to the Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. I'm your host, JD of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located, I'm sorry, Alice,
I'm a
Yeah,
Bills fan.
it's a little
so
rough.
bummed.
located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA. I made some Eagles shirts if you like the Super Bowl. We sell comics as well, so come... Listen, today was New Comic Book Day, and it's dead. Why? Why do you not come out to New Comic Book Day anymore? Do it.
It is the first nice day in the Northeast, though.
Maybe that's why.
Mm.
Are you gonna watch it anyway?
The Super Bowl.
To root against the
The Chiefs. I do
Chiefs.
want the Chiefs to lose.
everyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hate those guys.
I'm debating it. I might. I don't know.
Because it'll likely just be a good game
Yeah.
if you could pull yourself
I don't
from.
know.
Because I don't like the Eagles,
I regret
Mhm.
bringing this
but
up.
I will enjoy watching the
Yeah, I might
Yeah.
watch. I don't know.
Yeah.
Partially want to protest.
game.
Also here with me tonight from inside the morgue, Alice
It's me.
and Noel.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is. Anyway, in the booth is our trusty producer, Dylan. Dylan!
What up?
Oh, hey, buddy.
What up?
I was just thinking about you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's on the teleprompter here, so I thought I
Yeah.
would think about you. If there's anyone watching or listening and want to know more about Young Chunk HQ, the space and or services, the dirty little things that you do, where can they inquire about those?
All you got to do is email me, which you can find at the bottom of your screen at this very moment. Dylan@youngjunk.com. That is my email. And if you email me, I'll do my best to get back to you. And if you want to start a podcast, yeah, let's start a conversation and we'll go from there.
And get it done.
We'll go
from there.
I believe we may have
Go from
someone who
there.
has done that.
We'll go
Yes,
from there.
people have done that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Tonight, we're reaching deep into our listener/viewer requests and reviewing 2 films suggested. They sent them to us.
2 films imposed on us.
They kept
Imposed.
suggesting. They kept
Yeah.
suggesting and then
Yeah.
got tired of having to keep suggesting. So
So they-
sent them to us. And
Yeah.
you know what? It's great.
It
It's
works.
a
It
good move.
works.
It's a good move.
Suggested by some of our favorite listeners, 2018's horror sci-fi comedy from Down Under, Nekrotronic with a K, as well as the much celebrated indie thriller from last year, Strange Darling. But before we do all of that, a gentle reminder that if you're here live, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when we're doing this fun, nasty shit. And also, if you're watching this later, do those things anyway. We would love it and appreciate it. We also love a little back and forth. So get on the emails, get off of your couch, walk to your computer and go click, 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 click.
Yeah.
And then type us an email at cultpopgo@gmail.com. I don't know how computers work. Speaking of emails, we got letters.
We got a letter?
Oh, we got lots and lots and lots and lots of letters.
Letter.
Next time we should stop and let her finish it.
No,
not knowing that we're
I
gonna-
just started doing it. I'm never going to do it again now. Why would you say that?
That sucked.
It's okay. Well, everyone
That
will
was so
forget.
There it is.
Just,
Everyone will-
you know why they called it a clicker.
Before I get into this
Clicker.
email, I
I
barely know her. Chris says, I'm okay.
I hate it.
Carl says, good day.
Day.
Busy weekend seeing Ashley Gavin Friday night and working at Royal Rumble Saturday. What does any of that mean?
Okay, Ashley Gavin is something, and he's seeing them on Friday night, and then he's
Something.
working the Royal Rumble on Saturday because I believe, don't you do, Christopher, don't you do shift work at stadiums and events, right?
Sounds right.
Because you were making fun of me about the Bears because you did one of their games. Anyway,
He also had some insight into Trap. And how
that's right.
That's true. He did.
Yeah, so
Yes,
he's,
that's
he-
right. Thank you, Chris.
Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight is now our expert correspondent in regards to event spaces. Anytime we have a question about event spaces, what happens there, and or if it's plausible that some like our expert.
like murders might happen.
Yeah, like next time we talk about Trap, which hopefully will be never.
Yep.
I'm going to bring it
next
up
week.
every
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
We'll bring we'll ask Christopher St. Saucy a bunch of pointed questions.
We'll do a Trap/Gladiator 2 revisit. And Chris says, I
Make
meant it was
everyone
the
upset.
5th new comic book day of the month. Was anything even out? There was some good. There was some good stuff out today. We did a fresh floppies about it.
There was, you know what though? There was minimal Marvel.
Marvel.
It was
Yeah,
Marvel.
it's true. It's the Lucas Oil Stadium this weekend.
Word bird.
All right, so here's an email. I'm going to read it to you right now. Last year was a big year for movies for me, says Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight. I watched 94 movies with my AMC Stubs membership, which cost me $239.40 for the year.
Mm-hmm.
The tickets for those movies were $1,472.23, and the convenience fee, which AMC Stubs waives, was $239.33. The membership almost pays for itself in lack of convenience fees alone.
Good to know.
Chris, how do you know how many movies you watch? Do you use like Letterboxd or something?
They send you, if it's anything like Regal, they send you a report of your year.
We get a report?
I got one, yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
and they tell you how much you saved.
Oh, no
So
shit.
like you saw this many movies and you saved this much money.
I
I
need to
think
look that up.
I saved something like $400
Oh, wow. I got to look that up.
in movie
I'm
prices.
curious.
Yeah.
There were 5 movies I didn't get to go see at AMC, 2 I paid to see at Regal, and 3 I just did not get to see in theaters. What struck me the most was how many movies I was looking forward to just didn't really live up to the self-imposed hype, but movies I went to just to get the most out of my membership ended up being bangers. Movies like Strange Darling, ISS, Out of Darkness, Land of Bad, Y2K, and Your Monster just blew me away. The biggest disappointments of the year were Love Lies Bleeding, Drive Away Dolls, Lisa Frankenstein, and National Anthem.
Didn't see any of them.
I don't know most of these movies.
I know all of them. I just didn't see any of them
Like
yet.
ISS, Out of Darkness, Land of Bad. I don't know. I've never heard of any of these. Anywhomst, Dolls and Lisa just didn't hold up to Bottoms from the year before.
Bottoms was good.
Bottoms. Which one was Bottoms?
Rachel Sennett and Ayo Edebiri.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I spent all year waiting for a movie to be so compelling that I had to see it as many times as possible, and nothing hit till Strange Darling. Obviously, this year is off to a good start with 6 showings of Better Man. More on that later.
Dang.
But I've got Companion this week, Love Hurts, and Heart Eyes next week, and Captain America 4 the week after. What else are you all looking forward to? Chris saying saucy, good night.
I am looking forward to all of those.
Yeah,
I want to.
same.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Hard Eyes. I don't know anything about it, but I've seen the poster and that's enough.
First of all, you're the only person I know that didn't like Love's Lies Bleeding.
I'm
I
very
was
excited
gonna
to
say,
watch that.
I've
That's
heard
the only
generally
person-
positive things
Yeah.
about that.
Mhm.
And that's on HBO Max. So is Your Monster. So I'm going to catch both of those.
Yeah, I want to check those out.
And Drive Away Dolls also I heard was divisive, but I don't know why.
Heard of it.
It's the Coen Brothers movie. Sorry,
Oh.
it's a Coen Brother movie.
Yeah.
Because they're no longer brothers. They just don't make movies together all the time.
Oh, I was like,
No.
wait, what happened?
Yeah,
Wait.
they divorced. What am I looking forward to this year, though? What are you looking forward to this year? Other than Toxic Avenger.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
just Toxic
Just
Avenger.
Toxic Avenger.
There was a couple of things that looks kind of cool. Sinners looks cool, even though you shouldn't look at trailers. Mickey 17 looks dope. I mean, everyone's looking forward to Superman, and I think they're right.
Superman.
Mhm.
I want a Fantastic Four. I'm very interested in. Hard Eyes, Love Hurts, Opus. Oh, The Gorge
York-
looks cool as hell.
Yorkie Werewolf.
Yeah.
Wait.
What did you just pick up? Google?
What?
These are all fake movies.
The
These are
Yorkie
all
Werewolf.
AI movies.
That's what I'm
yeah.
looking forward to this year.
The
Yorkie
Gorge looks
Werewolf.
really cool. That's directed by Scott Derrickson, the guy that did a Sinister,
Oh.
of the Black Phone and Doctor Strange.
Oh.
Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. But you know what though? I don't even the year's too early. I don't even know what I'm going to be most excited about because that shit usually doesn't happen till after all the festivals occur and people are
Mhm.
talking about these movies you've never heard of. That's probably when I'll get excited.
These really do look like a bunch of AI movies.
I think these are all
none of these
fake.
look
I don't
real.
know
One
what
of
you're
them,
doing.
that one's like a Nickelodeon thing. No, not that one.
What's You Shall Not Sleep Tonight? That poster is awesome. What's that? It's on Tubi. Well, okay. Never mind. I honestly, if
No.
Superman is the biggest one for me. I'm really
Right now,
excited
yeah,
for
it's-
Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's up
Until
there for me.
word of mouth hits my ear holes, like it's Superman. I'm excited for.
Oh, there's a new Jurassic Park this year.
I don't
Sorry,
care about
Jurassic World.
Jurassic
There's a new Jurassic
Parks
World this year.
anymore.
There's also the final installment of Mission Impossible,
Oh.
which we'll be discussing in
Missions
depth.
Probable.
All the missions.
Yeah.
And can we get through them? You have to wait and see.
Mhm. Maybe.
So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Costa said new Silent Hill movie? Question mark.
I don't care.
I didn't like the other two.
Nah.
So
I didn't know there were two.
I'll
saw
see you
one.
with you, Costa.
I mean, I'll go.
You seem
I just-
you seem
I didn't
cute.
give
Do
a
you want to go
shit.
on a date?
I'll go. What, am I not invited?
Hey, is this FOMO for you?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, immediately.
I will
constant.
never go see that. Hey, what do you want to do? I'll go.
Are you guys gonna go without me?
You gonna go?
So
We're trying to have a date, and JD just pops up from behind.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey, just like reach over and grab your popcorn. So that was the email portion of the show. I'm going to move on to the next portion, which I call What's Poppin', wherein I ask my friends Alice and Noel
Where?
what was poppin' for them this week. I'm going to start with Alice. Alice, JD, I kept a list of what I had seen and how much it would have cost. Plus, like Noel said, you can find your history on the app. Alice,
That is my
what
full
was-
name.
What was
That was great.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're kind of hyphenated for when you get married. What was popping
is
for
it
you
in
this week? I am so distractible.
I'm so excited to talk about this.
This is my payback for seeing Joker 2. There is no payback
Oh.
for seeing Joker 2. There is no recompense that this world can offer for that experience, and I'm
people
sorry.
did anyone like that movie?
Costa,
I think a bunch
why
of did
would
to be
you remind us
contrarian.
of
I
that?
don't know.
I was in the middle of saying something really fun, Costa,
I'm sorry. That,
and
you know,
then you had to bring that up.
we've
Yeah,
seen.
you had to ruin the show
We've
by
seen worse.
bringing up
You know what?
Joker.
You know what? I'm gonna.
Wrap it up.
I'm gonna get out of here.
I'm sorry, Alice.
Alice.
What's been popping in your eye holes this week?
So Friday,
Because you saw
I-
something.
went to go see Gauntlet at the Garden with my brother and sister.
That's a metal band.
No,
Is
a
this
lot
a-
of people thought I was going to see a concert, but
Is this a trap situation?
no, it was.
Were you?
It was a good time.
Yeah, okay.
It
Ooh.
was.
Shots hitting
Fired.
targets.
So anybody doesn't know, Gauntlet at the Garden is a Dimension 20. It was a Dimension 20 live show at Madison Square Garden. So I talk about it on the podcast a lot. The Dropout Dungeons and Dragons show Dimension 20, and I'm a huge fan. My brother is the one that got my sister and I into it, and as much as I don't like things in a chill way, my siblings are the same. But we all like different things, and this is the one thing where we're all like just nerdy and super not chill together.
That's
like the
so
Venn diagram
cute.
connects.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And so going to see this live was such a cool, we all said this at the end. We knew we were going to have fun. It was like 10 times more fun than we ever could have imagined. They made references to some of our favorite bits in other shows. They brought in different characters that we weren't expecting because they have an ongoing campaign called Unsleeping City that takes place in New York City. So Gauntlet at the Garden was going to be all of this campaign because it's in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
But they threw in some other things from other campaigns. There was twists. There was effects. There was freaking fire shooting
I saw
out of
pictures.
the ground.
Literal fire.
And my sister surprised my brother and I because both of our birthdays are in February. And her birthday just passed in January. And she upgraded our seats from the 200 level to the 100 level, like up in the front of the 100 level. Oh my God, we were so close.
You caught on fire.
Oh, we felt the heat.
Oh, nice.
You did.
Nice.
It was so cool. We were so close. And it was such a cool experience to like get excited about something and then turn and look at my brother and sister and see the excitement reflected back. And even just the crowd was amazing. There was such cool cosplays. I was making friends. Everybody was so nice. And like, it was just so cool to be a part of something so nerdy, but so significant because they freaking sold out Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Sold out Madison Square Garden to watch people play Dungeons and Dragons. Like I've had to explain this to people all week because I haven't shut up about it because it was such a fun time.
Do
That's
you
awesome.
have merch?
I meant to wear my shirt tonight, but it's in the wash because I wore it a lot this weekend.
So we got
I
it
got-
Friday and I've worn it 5 times.
Yeah.
I got a
Green
t-shirt.
fumes.
The shirt that I really wanted, they only had in like a very large size, so I have it. But it still looks great.
A
on
night
me.
shirt.
I was
It's a
going to
nice
say,
shirt.
can't you just cut it at the seams and
It's a really good
refasten it?
quality shirt, and it doesn't look bad extra large. I'll just wear a baggy shirt sometimes.
dude.
But it says
layer it? Let's go.
It says I'm all the bad guys because Brennan says that in an Unsleeping City episode when they're yelling at him for attacking a dog. They're like, "You're a bad guy." He's like, "I'm all the bad guys." Because
Is this Brendan Lee Mulligan?
Brendan Lee Mulligan, yeah.
Have you know this guy?
I do.
I've seen clips of him, and he's
so
hilarious.
everyone in this. So Dimension 20, they have multiple campaigns, multiple different people playing at different tables, different DMs sometimes even, but usually it's Brennan. But this group of people was the first ones to kick it off with a show called Fantasy High. And they've since become known as the Intrepid Heroes group. They are, because that's what Brennan's always like, "Hey, Intrepid Heroes." And they're so funny together, and all of their chemistry was just, oh my God, it was so funny to watch them live and just bounce off of each other's
that sounds
energy and the
wonderful.
energy of the crowd. They were doing crowd work.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. And I'm so geeking out, sorry.
The arms go up.
And, a component that I thought was really cool. You'll like this. A lot of people kept their phones away.
She mentioned you by name when she was
I
telling me
was
the
like,
story.
Noel
She's
would
like,
love it. I
Noel
was
would have
like,
loved this.
They're like, "Hey, take your pictures now. We're coming out." But then like, be in the moment here. But there is going to be some points where we ask you to take your phone out, and we'll explain that when it comes. And then so something happened. There's a really important role that's about to come up, and Brennan goes, "Okay, everybody, take out your phones." Giant QR code comes up. Everybody scans the QR code or goes to the website. The whole audience rolled. It was a dice. It was a D20 you could roll virtually. And they took whatever was the most common number.
The aggregate and just like, that's cool as
so
shit.
fun.
It was so cool. And it flipped you off if you rolled a nat 1. It was really funny.
That's awesome.
There's which comedian used to do that? Or not that, but he would work phones into the bit. I think it was Aziz Ansari.
Well, maybe, I'm not sure.
The very first joke was just like, "Okay, everybody, take out your phones."
Mhm.
And then he would be on stage and pose, be like, "Let's do this now."
Yeah.
And would just like fake pose and a bunch of flashes. Like, "We're done. Fuck them. Put them away.
Put him away.
Just put them
Yeah.
away. I never
Nice.
want to see him again." So like you could look like you had action shots of me talking in the audience. It's gonna
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
now.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, you've got other people that just like lock it up.
Mhm.
They should do that for movies now. Like, look, the credits are here. Take a picture of the title. Now put your phones away.
Mhm.
That sounds really great.
It was such a great experience, and I just love that I got to share it with my brother Brian and my sister Barbara, because there's no other people that I could have. I mean, I would have had fun going to see this with anybody, but just like the level that we all love this is like unhinged.
I have a cozy feeling just listening to it.
It's like
It sounds lovely.
What's the age order?
I'm a middle child. So I have an older brother, younger sister.
So Bab.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Bab.
I didn't know if it was
Brian,
Bab,
Alice,
Ab, or Ba.
I know. It's Bab.
That's even better. Put that on shirts, guys. Bab.
Bab or ba?
Yeah, it was
That
really
sounds
cool.
delightful. I
JD.
have tried several times.
Mm-hmm.
And I as funny as I think he is, I just do not have the bandwidth for a like many hour podcast of D&D.
Yeah.
I've tried and I can't.
They're not as long as Critical Role episodes. Also, Matt Mercer was at the show apparently too. He was somewhere in the audience. I didn't get to see him. Speaking of
I
Critical
got
Role.
nothing.
What? Oh, he's the DM for Critical Role, another
Thank you,
very
thank you,
popular.
thank you.
Oh, he's that guy that looks like an alien.
Does he
Got
look
long
like an
hair.
alien?
He's
He's also
tall.
had some crossover with Dimension 20. Him and
Okay.
Brennan have like he's DM'd some Dimension 20. Brennan and I think other players from Dimension 20 have
Yeah.
been guests on Critical Role, and they
I tried the other one. What's the
Critical
other one?
Role.
I've tried Critical Role.
Critical
and I was
Role.
like, the first episode's 4 hours. I cannot.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Dimension 20 they usually average around 2.5,
Yeah.
maybe even a little shorter, depending on if it's a role playing episode or a battle episode. Longest one I think I've watched was maybe 3-ish hours, and that was
Gotcha.
because they were all virtual, so they were
Sure.
doing a lot virtually.
My favorite was
COVID.
Adventure Zone
Adventure Zone is great.
by Bam
they
Bam.
have a mini a one shot on Dimension 20 with,
fun.
with Brennan and everybody. I forget the
I'll check
name of
that
it,
out.
but they all play little toys and it's really funny.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you had fun. That's awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll keep going on forever if you don't cut me off.
No,
Yeah.
you were about to ask me what was popping with me, I think, but then I cut you off. So
Sure.
I'm going to ask you what was popping with you instead.
I actually want to know what was happening with you.
Oh, shit. Hey, I was watching a show on Hulu called INT period Chinatown, Interior Chinatown. Let's see, who's in this jam?
Jimmy O Yang, Ronnie Chung,
And Chloe Bennett.
Chloe Bennett. Yeah.
Well done. So the
Jimmy O Yang.
IMDb
sorry.
says background actor Willis Wu witnesses a crime in Chinatown while working on a TV show. That is not what this show is. Noel, am I crazy? So this makes it sound like the show is about an actor who is a background actor on a show
Mm-hmm.
and then gets involved in a murder mystery. No, he is a background character, a living, breathing background character in a show, and he gets wrapped up in it. And there
Oh,
are
wow.
certain things that he's not able to do because his character is not meant to do those things. There's a whole sequence where he's trying to get into the police station, and literally the world won't let him in. People keep coming out, the door will lock. Like he can never get to the door quick enough to open it because in that world, he is not meant to be in the police station. So the world won't let him in. It's not that this is an actor and he's getting wrapped up in this fiction. Like he is a fictional character in a fictional TV show. And it's one of those things like Kevin Can Fuck Himself.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's called? Kevin
Yeah.
Can Fuck Himself is basically another show kind of in the same vibe where it is a misogynistic sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kevin's wife, like his characters will be lit in a certain way, and then she'll go into the kitchen and it'll become real life. And it'll switch between the laugh track and the brightness and the
Ooh.
sitcom setup.
Yeah.
And then anything with her when he's not there is real life. And she decides to try to kill him because he's such a prick.
So I've seen the first episode
Of this.
of Interior Chinatown. First of all, the INT, the interior, that's script notes. That's formatting.
Yeah.
It's meant to be, my interpretation of it was not, this isn't a fake world in a fake world. It's the story of an investigation, but through the prism of an NPC.
Yeah.
It's a non-playable character
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
who is your antagonist and why it's so hard for them. But the thing about it is it uses the tropes of procedurals
Mhm.
and of filmmaking, but that's not the point of the show. Like it's weird. It's like somebody who didn't have those references, I don't know if they would even know what the fuck they're watching. You know, the fact that when certain characters walk into the room, the lighting changes.
Mm-hmm.
Or when, some characters are introduced, they get little bumpers and numbers, or the camera angles change if it's a different genre. Fights break out because that's what the plot dictates to happen.
Mhm.
But then they create story reasons why he's a background character. Like his parents raised him to be a background character because his brother was more important. Like stuff like that. So like it's not just we're going to dissect format and film language. It's the story does that, and they just use those tools. And it's really fucking cool.
It's
That's
really
awesome.
cool. And he's
really
trying to figure out what happened to his brother, the Kung Fu guy, who was like, he was the lesser brother. And so his much older brother was like the beloved one, and he disappeared quite a while ago, and he's trying to figure it out. And then Chloe Bennett shows up from, what was she? She was in
Shield.
Shield. Yeah. Not Legends of Shield. Agents of Shield.
And they're legends.
Yeah. And she,
Legends.
my hypothesis is that she has come in also from a different show, because she's not really supposed to be there either. And there's definitely things that she's hiding. And it's really, really fun, really clever. And the format is really interesting.
So I'm not that far in, but I want to either get from you or make clear the show is not about shows. It just uses genres to tell a story. So like, it's not like the point of the show is like, look at all these shows mingling. It's just, it uses like, almost like using cliches, but in the language of a genre. Right.
It's a little bit of both, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
because I don't know, to watch it. It's cool as shit.
Yeah.
Just watch it.
Yeah. I would say watch at least 2. I'm not sure. And that's kind of the thing about this show too, is that they don't explicitly tell you any of this.
Well,
they just put you in it.
I wouldn't want to lead anyone on incorrectly, because again, I've only seen one, that wasting your time to figure out why is this a show? Like, no. It's the story.
Yeah. It's story driven.
It's not the mystery is not that there's like these shows intermingling or these formats intermingling. So don't waste your time if like, because I could totally see
that's just the playground it exists in.
I could totally see somebody that's very not cynical, literal, being like, so why is it this format? Is that the clue? Like, no, it's just the story. It's the type of story they're trying to tell. Like using music to propel a plot. They're using tropes and cliches and genre formatting to propel a plot. It's not the point of the plot. Yeah.
And
which I thought was really fucking cool.
It's also about this kid who is trying to break out of sort of the situation he's in, right? There's an overarching, metaphor.
Yeah, because I could totally see some people that listen to the show or watch the show being like, I didn't like it because there was no reason for them to put those types of shows together. Like, no, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy says, ooh, that show looks so badass. I only just started watching D20 this month. Critical Role will always be my favorite, but D20 is way more digestible, and they're actually edited, which is nice.
What D20 show did you start with? And they are mostly edited, but there is I think season 2 of Fantasy High sophomore year. I think they started for a while at least doing live episodes. I didn't watch it when it was live, but they're a little bit longer because of that. And then they had to go virtual because COVID happened, I think, during that season.
On the Dropout TV tip, Josh Rubin, one of the
hilarious. Make some noise is what I know him from.
He directed Hard Eyes, which is coming out. And Wolves Within and something else.
I
and a bunch
love
of
Josh
TV.
Rubin. Josh Rubin, Zach Ayama, and Brennan together.
Scare Me.
Very funny.
Oh, Scare Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I watched that.
He wrote and directed that.
Oh, what's that actress's name? She's really cool.
Cash.
She's great. I like her a lot. She was on The Boys. She was the Nazi.
Yeah.
But yeah, like every time I see like, clips
Fantasy
of
High's
him
great.
on Make Some Noise, I'm like, you make scary movies.
Funny.
He's also in the Creep Tapes, which I haven't got to that episode
I
yet.
haven't seen those yet either.
I watched the first episode. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's the same shtick. It's just like, come on.
Kind of sleepy and creepy.
We're in it.
Yeah, sleepy creeps.
You get what you paid for.
Hey, Noel, what was popping for you this week? Tell us.
So I still watch Saturday Night Live. I do on occasion, watch clips and or at least get to Weekend Update. And
I watch
then turn
Weekend
it off.
Update.
But like it always depends on the host, and we still watch it. It's still kind of an institute, so even when it's lagging, it's still kind of interesting from a socio-political kind of aspect of like what is funny or what do people think is funny, and this cast versus that cast. I actually think it's cool, like from a different level. So we watch it still. But this year's the 50th anniversary of the show. It's been on for 50 fucking years. And because of that, they've been doing a bunch of really great documentaries on Peacock, and not just like hooey-fooey, the history of Saturday Night Live. Each episode, about an hour and 10 minutes long, is explicitly about one topic, not anything else. So like the first episode was 5 minutes, and it was only about auditions. That's it. It was only about the audition process and the 5 minutes you have to put it on tape. And they would interview all these people those that didn't get auditions, those that failed their auditions, those that were hired as writers because of this or that, and then those that kind of got it. And they interviewed a bunch of people.
That's cool.
The second one was about the most watched sketch in SNL history. A whole hour about cowbell.
God damn it.
We're talking about like an investigative documentary about the fucking cowbell sketch.
That's awesome.
More cowbell. Like,
yes.
We need more cowbell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the history of the actual band, who each character was an avatar of, how it came together, what it was originally called. It was actually a wood block instead of a cowbell. Just everything. And it was a whole hour about cowbell.
I have really a fever funny. And the only prescription is more woodblock. Doesn't have quite the same ring.
And honestly, too, like it was written for a different host first and then put in a drawer, and then Will Ferrell brought it back out. And the cowbell of it came from, that just sounds like something that Christopher Walken would eat up. Like cowbell. Like it just, awesome. And then the third episode that I got to see was just about the writer's room.
I love
Only
this.
about the writers.
This sounds so interesting.
The fourth episode is The Weird Year. Season 11. So Lorne Michaels was the executive producer and showrunner for 10 seasons, left for a year, and then came back, or 9 years. Either way, he came back. He left for like 1 or 2 seasons and came back.
Like disgruntled, or just like, I need a break?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I heard
there's not an episode on that one yet.
No, but it's like, but the thing about it is like they do this they go hyper focused, but that hyper focus allows them to kind of like pull in other like pieces of history. So it's almost like you learn more about the show by hyper focusing about specific topics instead of like, I guess just like, boring fluff.
Yep.
And then there was that time we walked into the office and they said, call it Saturday night. Like that's bullshit. That's boring. Yeah. This was like really, really, really fun. And then there's a music one too, of just about the musical guests for the last 50 years.
Man.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's so up my alley.
They're so watchable.
Where is it streaming?
Peacock. It's on Peacock.
Awesome.
There's 4 episodes so far, and then the music special. But I don't know if they're going to do more. But the fact that they chose to do it in this way was, I mean, I've been watching Saturday Night Live since I was like 8, and I didn't know this stuff. Yeah. And if it was just like a random like best of or this or that, it's like, meh. Yeah. This is cool. This is really,
sounds
really
cool. This is so dumb. But like I've been watching 30 Rock, and part of what I like about that show is that it's behind the scenes of an SNL type show.
The writer's room one is really, really great. Like they go through they put it together in a fucking week.
It's insane.
So it's like 12 writers, all with different backgrounds, playwrights, poets, comedy sketch writers, actors. Yeah. They pitch stuff to a host on Monday. By Tuesday, they have to have like 30 or 40 sketches completely written. Wednesday is rewrites and read-throughs, and then they just get canned or not, and they just keep going. And what's cool about the writer's room one is that each writer, when their sketch is picked, they become the directors of that sketch.
Oh.
Like the writer goes to props and the actor and this and like runs the whole show. So it's almost like 12 directors for one big broadcast. Really fucking cool stuff that I didn't know.
That's so cool.
It's really, really cool.
Oh.
But you should watch it.
And if you haven't yet, the movie Saturday Night that came out this past year, really funny.
Just dropped on Netflix.
Highly recommend Saturday Night, the film. It's really fun. It's about the hours leading up to the very first broadcast of Saturday Night Live. It's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's really for
very
like
fictionalized.
For like 45 years out of the last 50, it's been very, very cool to shit on Saturday Night Live. It has been like every year there's a
I agree.
Saturday Night
I just
Dead,
don't feel that.
And it's they're always chasing trends as opposed to being the trend. But I'm like, it doesn't survive on 50 years on vibes.
Yeah.
And it's been around so long that yes, there's like ebbs and flows. I don't know. It's kind of, I'm getting nostalgic about nothing will last that long again.
Yeah.
People's attention spans don't act that
Simpsons.
way. Will The Simpsons hit 50 years?
Except for this podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
No, but think about it. Like something new lasting that long and like no end in sight. Nothing that should
It really happen.
Yeah, it will not happen again. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
They did
Chris,
one
Chris
whole
is
episode.
agreeing with you. All right, that's what was popping with us this week. We're gonna move on to one of our two main reviews.
What?
Nekrotronic came out in 2018. It's got a whopping 36% on Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by Kia Roche Turner, written by Kia Roche Turner and Tristan Roche Turner, starring Ben O'Toole, Monica Bellucci, Ben Wenham, David Wenham, and Caroline Ford. Down on his luck sewage worker, Howard North discovers he is part of a secret sect of magical demon hunters called the Necromancers.
With a K.
That's right. Thank you. When Howard, with a W, finds out about evil demon Finnegan's dark plans,
With a
he
P.
sets out to defeat her.
With an R.
Yes, thank you. Period. So this was wonderfully sent to us by Carl Carls down in Tasmania. And did he give us anything about this, or was it just like whoop?
I mean, Carl, tell me if I'm wrong or off. He suggested this movie last year. Like, have you guys ever seen this weird movie?
Yeah.
By the makers of Wormwood.
Did you see Wormwood?
He was
No, I don't think I have.
he was proud. I wouldn't say proud of it. Just in general, like it's fun and stupid and big and crazy, and it's Australian. And I live in Australia. I think you guys would get a kick out of it, even if you didn't like it. You should watch it. You should watch it. So we did. It was.
Well, we didn't.
We didn't for a bit.
So we didn't. We went cool, and then we didn't.
Cool
but
story, bro.
But then
Then he pushed,
that's right.
and we were like, okay, fine. But I actually thought it looked kind of fun in a stupid as hell way.
Yeah.
So I was down, and I mean. If we're gonna get into it, I wasn't.
Get into it.
I mean, it's kind of what happened. It was stupid and dumb, and I liked it. This is like that sweet spot of trash, but like trauma trash.
I'm sorry, but I think this is better than Trauma Trash.
No, I think this has more budget than Trauma, but the script is Trauma Trash.
Okay.
Like it's
Trauma Trash with money.
It is so creatively weird and shoe-strapped together and charming in a very stupid way.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. I mean, wait, love is hard. Love is a lot.
You enjoyed
You
it?
like it. You're seeing where it's going. You're going to go on a second date.
There was a lot of
yeah.
There was a lot of creativity and stuff to love in here. Like and having read about the movie afterwards too, I guess Roche Turner didn't have the creative freedom he wanted on this.
Oh, really?
So I can only imagine how weird it could have been or would have been without that. Because like he went from Wormwood, which was, they filmed it in their backyard, to this.
Wormwood was awesome, by the way.
Which was a $10 million budget, but according to him, it was a movie by committee. Oh. And they changed a lot of things and, questioned all of his choices. And I'm like, but you still wound up
like this? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nuts.
I mean, the practical effects are absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
The prop work is awesome. Every single actor comes to play. Mm-hmm. Like the way that they deliver these atrocious dialogue is just fucking masterful for what it is. And then the best friend is cool.
At first, I didn't like him. I was like, when it booted up.
Yeah.
When I got off my couch and I booted up the internet in order to watch this, I was like, look, they're doing sewer work and he got poop all over himself and his friend's just on his phone, hurdy-dirty. And I was like, oh no, what's happening? And then I gave it some time. And it really does get more and more charming, and it just keeps
more charming than the shit.
More charming than the shit.
Well, it starts at poop and gets higher.
Yeah,
like it goes from poop.
There's not much lower you can get.
Yeah, well,
it starts at the anus and works its way up the digestive tract.
Is pus lower than poop?
No, pus is higher than poop.
Pus is higher than poop. Well, nothing's lower than poop.
Would you rather get pus in your mouth or poop?
Neither.
You had to pick one. That's your answer.
It's gonna happen.
Whether you want it to or not, I'm coming.
Wait a minute.
I'm coming for you. Is it pop? Would you rather it be popping or slopping?
Noel's gonna quit.
So my point being is that
if it's popping, it's slopping. If we're talking about pus.
Popping pimples.
Oh, gross.
Well, no, I was saying poppin' as in poppin'
That's
pimples
your fucking line?
or sloppin'.
That's your line?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway,
Wait, well, you,
God
you
damn
have a
it.
child. I'm sure you've gotten poop or pee near your mouth or some sort of orifice.
I did not mean for this to happen.
No. I mean, I've been peed on and I've gotten pooped, but I've never been like
I didn't say you fucking licked it. I just mean like in general, like things happen or this or that, or the kid's got poop on his hand and does
No,
that.
I've never gotten any of that in my mouth. Thank
Yeah,
God.
Well,
So anyway, this movie happened and
Maybe.
we started it and I was like, I'm not sure about this. But then as it goes, I really started to appreciate it. And I started to feel the vibes of it. And it really just keeps one-upping itself and yes-anding itself. But yeah, the effects are great. Even there's a lot of CG in this movie, but it's charmingly silly. The CG is charmingly silly. Does that make sense?
It knows what it is. Like,
yes.
it knows, yeah.
there's a school of thought of early versions of computer animated special effects for movies. They would put all of their efforts into like maybe one sequence and it was beautiful, but it didn't really match the aesthetic of the rest of the movie. So like a lot of times they would figure out like, what if we kept everything at like a B or a C the whole movie?
Yeah.
People wouldn't feel like they saw something big and then small. It would just all be the same level.
Yeah.
This movie knows that. It's like everything will be at this level. It's going to contextually and consistently be this kind of special effects, these kind of camera angles. Like it's really stylish.
Yeah.
Everything is like low angles, blood splatter. They obscure the screen when something is a little off, which I really appreciated.
Even just this is such a, there's no reason for me to bring this up. I feel like there's so much going on in this
just talking
movie.
about poop and pus.
Yeah,
I was
but
gonna say,
like,
are you bringing it up again?
just the fact that there is a sequence where it's a transitionary scene of them driving from one place to another. But the way that they shot, the car is driving towards the camera, hits the camera, and then immediately it feels like without cutting, the car is driving away from the camera. And there's no reason to do that. They did not need to do that, but they took the time and the effort.
It was cool
to set up that shot. And I was like,
yeah, those cool whip hands.
that was cool. Like that's really well shot. The cinematography on this is awesome.
It gave me the same feeling I got when I just turned on Guns Akimbo for the first time.
Yeah.
Guns Akimbo,
without like really knowing what it was, and I'm like, oh, I'm in. Like this is stupid, chaotic fun, and I'm in. Yeah.
So did you enjoyed it?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
You go.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I did a little bit of reading about it after because it really gave me almost like quirky Shaun of the Dead and Guns Akimbo vibes. And I was reading, I think they had like 3 inspirations that they were trying to like pull from. They said like Ghostbusters was one, Exorcist, and of course I'm forgetting the third.
There's a lot of Evil Dead in here.
Yes, I think that might have been.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Especially like a little coda at the end.
Yeah.
There's a little mid-credit sequence of just like, 1 year later, they're still hunting demons.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
What's the log line for this movie? How do you describe this movie as an elevator pitch without reading the IMDb?
Oh, damn.
Just like, I would say demon internet.
Pokemon Go.
I was going to say that was
Pokemon Go with demons. That was it.
That was the reference that I put in there. Yeah. It's literally like the Pokemon Go of.
You read it.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, like possessed.
Shut up. Coming
you
at me.
like it was original idea, but no, I'm saying because you gave me credit like it was my idea. You're like, oh, that's so funny.
that's
No,
right.
I heard
Like,
you
oh,
say
no,
it.
yeah.
You're both wrong. I wrote it.
Yeah, you wrote it. You read it.
You both suck. It's fine.
look over
Everything's
here.
fine. How would I describe it? Batshit weird Monica Bellucci tries to eat the souls of the entire city, and only her estranged necromancer son with the power of friendship can defeat her.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. All right. Oh, Carl, speaking of which, is in the chat. I suggested it because it was a big, dumb, stupid flick that is derivative as fuck, but fun. I was not under any illusions that you might like it, but I thought, what the fuck, why not?
Well, your illusions were incorrect. We all liked it.
Yeah, we all really enjoyed it.
This is the best kind of stupid.
Yeah.
When you said it, it knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem. It's not a problem at all.
It gives me Funky Buckets, Wet Puppet, We have the
Psycho
soundtrack.
Gorman.
Psycho Gorman.
Thanksgiving.
No, you shut up. No.
Thanksgiving 3 though.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
All 2.5 hours of it.
Yeah, Psycho Gorman. It feels like Psycho Gorman to me.
Yeah, I can see that. It's well, it
Also has a lot of neon.
also too. It's got it has a couple of I would watch this as a double feature. You guys are probably going to disagree. A double feature of with Scott Pilgrim.
Oh no, yeah, I would do that.
Because it has like that same kind of like weird punk rock, icky aesthetic.
Mhm.
I mean, that's obviously a much more polished and better movie. But this is like the candy weird version after watching that, like the aperitif after the meal or the dessert.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think they would totally fit together.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
That and or Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, thank you so much, Carl.
It was
Carlos,
awesome.
we all really appreciate getting to watch this.
It was streaming on Shudder. It's rentable on Prime. Yeah, guys, this is stupid fun. This is a really, really fun movie if you've never heard of it. Yeah, I would recommend this, and I would defend it. If somebody's like, "What'd you make me watch?" I'm like, we shouldn't be friends.
I laughed out loud.
Test for friendship now.
I laughed out loud a bunch of times. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
This is a litmus test for friendship.
All right, cool.
This
I'm glad
weird
I passed.
fucking movie.
All right. Well, that was anything else you want to say? I feel like that went by really quickly.
Go see it. Favorite scenes, favorite monsters, favorite sequence, anything?
The poop was really.
Oh, as soon as you got the
Gotta
poop,
love
you were
that
in.
poop. Gotta love that
like, all
poop.
right, it's already my favorite movie.
I really like the best friend and how he would just like fog in sideways. Like he would come in from all different directions.
Hey, brah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the creature effects were really fun. The giant big bad at the end is actually
Yeah.
And also too, there's like genuine creativity in this movie. Spoilers. How they dispatch demons, I was like, that is so complicated.
Right.
And that's okay. They trap them in a box, then they take the box to a machine, and then the machine moves the trapped demon into like a vat of goo that they use to 3D print the demon so they can kill it physically. Just so fucking overcomplicated. But I thought it was amazing. And then the way that kind of came into play with one of the other main characters later on in the movie, I was like, fuck you, movie.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
I was going to say that was my favorite bit.
Yeah.
The way it came into play with another character.
Because when the thing happened to that character, I was like,
that's what I was going to say. It was like one of my favorite bits. I was like, oh, they went there.
holy shit.
Oh,
It's a spoiler.
What?
No, you can't say it because it's a spoiler, right?
Yeah.
The thing.
There is a giant oh shit sequence in the middle of this movie that's like, I don't know if that's supposed to be funny or not. Oh my God. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to our second main review. We're going to talk about Strange Darling of 2024. It's got a 96. Hold on a second. Nekrotronic deserves more than a 36% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
Strange Darling has a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Written and directed by J.T. Molnar, starring Willa Fitzgerald, Kyle Gallner, Barbara Hershey, what? And Ed Begley Jr., what? Nothing is what it seems when a twisted one-night stand spirals into a serial killer's vicious murder spree.
You noticed them in the movie, right?
I did.
Okay.
No, I do. But like, when their names came up in the credits, I was like, oh, what? Okay, cool.
Can I?
You may.
I'm going to tie this movie back to Scream.
Okay.
Willa Fitzgerald and Kyle Gallner are both in the Scream universe.
Kyle Gallner, I remember because he gets
Where's Willa?
Willa is in the Scream television show, season 1.
Oh, fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different continuity.
God damn it. Counts.
Still has the Scream logo, Scream font, Scream everything.
All right, whatever.
Scream everything.
Scream everything.
Yeah.
Listen.
I didn't watch the second season.
I didn't watch.
I didn't finish the first
I watched the first. It was decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't finish the first season.
But she's in it.
The mask sucked.
I literally, it wasn't a great mask.
And also, it didn't have any of the interesting things that the movie brought. Like, that didn't have anything to do with the.
Well, there was a pretty
films.
decent. No, it had nothing to do with the movies, but there was a pretty decent like mystery, and I remember being entertained by that. But then every time the killer showed up, I was like, that looks stupid.
It seemed unless it kicked in further into the season that I did not see. It didn't seem to have anything to do with the vibes of self-referential.
No.
Horror movies.
Not,
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just was like, oh, it's just
a teen
It's a slasher movie.
Yeah,
or
slasher show.
All
Yeah,
they
it
were
was.
doing was using IP, which
Yeah.
also is why I would argue that it's not in the Scream universe. This is not a King's
They're
Dominion.
both in things called Scream.
Ah,
Both of them are called just Scream, by the way.
That's
He's
also
in
true.
5 Cream and she's in the Scream show, which is just called Scream. Because
True.
it's not called Scream 5.
Cream is so much cooler.
Willa Fitzgerald is also in the
Nice. I
in
haven't watched the second season.
Yeah.
Thank you. I wasn't
Spoilers,
sure.
she lives.
Damn it.
She survives a show that no one's watching.
So Strange Darling
Damn.
was mailed to me by Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight. He sent me an actual DVD, and I had no idea what this movie was going to be. I just cracked it open, put it in. I got up off the couch, and I went to the DVD player, and I put it in. And I went click, 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 and I started off, and I was like, oh, okay, my family's asleep. I've got a couple of minutes before I should go to bed. I'll start it. I watched like 15, 20 minutes of it. And then it was 2:30 in the morning and the movie was just ending. And I loved it so much.
It's so good.
This may be, it's definitely my top 3 probably films of 2024, even though I saw it in 2025. But this blew my socks off. Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
For making me watch this. It's so good. It's so good. There's nothing that we can really say about this film, nothing I can say without spoiling this film. So I think we should give our overall thoughts and then maybe get into spoilers. Does that sound good to you guys?
Sure.
Go ahead, Alice. I'm hoping you guys like this movie.
I picked up the DVD from you
Uh-huh.
and I told you I knew nothing about this movie.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know nothing about this movie.
Mhm.
I had seen, like, I was scrolling through TikTok or Instagram or something and I saw a reviewer that I really liked about to talk about
Jay Stoops
about to talk about Strange Darling, and I scrolled really, really quick. I liked it. I was like, I'll come back later
Shut
because I want to know absolutely nothing about this going in. And I'm so glad that I did because, I mean, everything was a surprise. It was so well put together.
Oh my God.
The way they told the story in that order, it's great. I can't say more without spoilers. So
Right,
it was
right?
just so
Yeah.
good.
No.
I really liked it.
Done?
I'm not as effervescent on you guys as you guys because I think I saw the seams a little too early.
Oh.
But
Mhm.
I saw the seams too
Oh,
early.
wow.
Mm.
It's a little too early to the point of like thinking, okay, let's get to chapter 4.
No,
Mhm.
no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to find out. Okay. All right.
But so I've seen this movie talked about online, and then I did see the trailer, which tells you nothing except there's a shit ton of quotes on it of everyone saying, mesmerized by the twist. Couldn't understand how twisty and wonderful, and
I hate
didn't
that.
see it coming.
I hate
Stupid.
that.
So all
That's
You're
it does
looking
is
for a
worst.
all it
twist.
does is kind of prime you to be like, okay, what's gonna flip? What's gonna flip? Which sucks.
Shit.
But so for me, the experience had nothing to do with how it's plotted. It was just the actors were so good.
Mhm.
Everything was so good. My favorite being the last 3 minutes of the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was just all so good.
Mhm.
So I really, really liked it. It wasn't top 3 favorite of the year.
Oh.
It was just really fucking strong, and I cannot wait to see what JT Molnir does next.
Of what?
Nothing.
This is the first?
He did a movie in 20s. He's in a bunch of shorts, little TV, and a movie that in 2016 about
Yeah.
cowboys that I'll never watch.
Gotcha. Yeah, Outlaws and Angels, Flowers in December, The Red Room.
Lots of shorts, lots of TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just this though.
So, would you recommend it anyway?
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
You-
100%.
you
I've
definitely-
already recommended it
I
to
didn't-
people.
I did
I
not
watched
dislike
2
it.
days ago.
Yeah.
But I was not
Over the
blown
moon.
away
Well, yeah.
by this new classic in the genre. It was just really fucking good.
Mm.
I just thought it was really, really good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We're going to, we all recommend it. Go
Very
get
much.
your hand. You know what? Christopher St. Saucy will mail you a DVD. Just
We'll all pass around the same
just-
one.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll mail you that version.
I have it now.
Yeah.
I'll give it to everybody now.
It was really, really good. Everyone should see it.
Highly
Yeah.
recommend. We're going to move into spoilers starting now. So when did you figure it out? Because you said you were looking for the twist.
So it goes, was it chapter
Chapter 3,
3,
5,
5, 1, 4,
4,
6?
2. We missed 2.
Oh.
I don't
2 is
remember.
close. It's 2 and 6.
So when they're in the
2
car,
is when you find out
when
that
they're in the
she's
car, I just knew it right away.
Oh, when she's talking to the car
The
about.
beginning of the movie when she's like,
No.
"Are you a serial killer?"
Yeah.
You figured it out from the
Yeah,
beginning.
because
of the
we already
movie.
saw one person being hunted. The movie's out of order. The
I
beginning of
understand
the
that.
movie
I saw it.
is chapter 3 is her running, blah blah blah, and then they go back. When they go back to chapter 1, which is the third chapter you see,
I'm sorry.
So I think it's 3. I think 3 and then 1.
it was
and then-
3, 5, and then 1.
The
Because
movie.
you see the dead body
That's
on the
right.
floor.
Yeah.
So
3,
it goes
5,
back
yeah,
to
I see.
1.
Yes.
When we're at 1, I'm like, she's the killer,
Mhm.
and now we're just gonna find out why he's hunting her and seeming
Yeah.
like the killer.
Also,
So
can
like that's when the seams broke, and I was just kind of waiting for the turn.
So the movie starts with that scene in the car. So I was like, "You figured it out then?"
Yeah, there's like a clip like, "Are you a serial killer?" And then
No.
you see him
I got it.
choking her.
Not
Yeah.
the cold open,
Yeah.
the actual
okay.
scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I just say
Yes.
I liked the bit the oh my god, what's it called? When the card comes up and it's like, this is based on like
True
police
ish.
interviews.
Yeah.
And it was never used pronouns to describe.
Nope. I realized that the second because I put it on for Sushan.
Yeah.
We went to go watch it afterwards, and we can only get so far before we were like, "Well, Kai's in the room. We can't really keep watching this." But like, oh man, that's
Yeah.
clever.
And I got as soon as that happened, and it happens early on when they say that it's like, oh, based on police interviews, this is a dramatization. I actually paused it because I was like, is this going to be based on a true story, but not really based on a true story serial killer movie? Because like
Yeah.
I don't always love these,
Yep.
with the exception of Zodiac. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh no. And I looked it up, and it was like, no, not based on a true story. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. And then I was like,
Well,
oh. I
And
gotta do it.
also, I think right after that, you're introduced to both, or no, the credits come up,
Mhm.
and then you're introduced to Kyle Gallner as the demon,
Mhm.
yes,
and she's just the
lady.
The lady. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you find out she's the electric lady.
He's the electric lady. Why is he called the demon though?
Don't
It's
know.
just her. I
Her.
don't know.
Mm.
Oh, because she sees demons.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. She
Oh.
sees demons. And I was watching it in the trailer because I didn't notice it the first time when they're on the bed together
And when
and
she
they're
sees-
having fun. And then all of a sudden she makes a face and then changes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like her vibe shifts immediately. That's because all of a sudden she sees him turn into a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
they-
thing with the rear view mirror at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, there was
Ugh.
that flash. I caught that flash.
Uh-huh.
I caught
Um,
that flash, and at first, before I caught on to like the twist of what was happening, I
Yeah.
thought he drugged her or something, and she was like tripping out.
Yeah. I
was
didn't
like,
know
oh, did he
why that
roof-
was there. But yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's why he's the demon.
She's a
Yeah.
demon.
But despite all that, everything that transpired, it was just so fun.
Yeah.
It was.
She was fantastic.
She's so good.
I've always liked her. I forgot that she was in Scream season 1. I'm
Your
sorry.
favorite show. And 2.
Um,
And 2.
Isn't she the hero? She's like the main
Yeah,
character,
she's,
right?
Is she?
she's the final
Yeah.
girl.
Um,
I don't know if she was in
but
2, but
she was in
one.
the first season of Reacher, and she's fucking awesome.
She's also in Fall of the House of Usher as young
Didn't
Madeline.
see it yet.
Very good in that.
Oh wait, no, I did see that.
yeah,
Oh,
she's,
Usher, yeah.
she's
I
young Madeline
didn't
Usher, like
see
young adult Madeline
the-
Usher.
the other one, the fucking
Bly Manor.
no, the one
Midnight
before that, the one that
Mass?
everyone likes before that, not Bly Manor,
Haunting Hill House.
Notting Hill. Yeah, I didn't see it.
Oh,
Like, there's only so many things I can watch
I
without
know.
my wife.
I'm
in the
gonna
room.
try not to overhype it.
Oh, she was also in Gotham.
Yeah.
The Following.
A lot of TV work, but she was
Yeah.
in she was in Reacher, so she's like
hmm
5'0", maybe like 98 pounds, soaking wet, and she played against
Kyle Gallner.
no,
Oh.
in Reacher, the big
Oh.
dude,
Oh, yeah.
Alan Ritchson, but she just owned him the
Yeah.
whole time, and I'm like, she's so fucking good.
hmm
Like
Oh,
she's this
I
young
haven't watched
deputy that
really.
just like owns him for the most of the show, and takes what she wants from him in all the ways.
Oh yeah.
So I was just like, I've always liked her, and this scene that you're seeing in the trailer, yeah, this chapter 1, I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. Now we're just gonna figure out why. Now we're gonna figure out why the movie was trying to mislead you,
Yeah.
not what the trick of the movie is. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 So it was more the journey than the twist. And I think if you led with it's twisty,
hmm
I almost feel like that's a disservice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like this is a nail biter. It's really fun.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
I thought the twist was going to be once I saw chapter 1, which is I think in the third in the sequence. I thought this was all going to be part of their weird role playing because
Yeah.
she says she's super into violence and like she wants to almost be like threatened with death. And I was like, is this just a weird sex thing
Kink
that
thing?
goes very, very wrong. Because like
There-
you see a dead body, I
the
was like,
whole
are they
chapter-
both insane?
The whole chapter is the safe word too. So I there was a minute too where I was just like, oh, maybe the very end is going to be she says the safe word and they just high five.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Yeah.
So I had a weird hypothesis because so in the beginning of the
Don't watch this if you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
movie,
That's fine.
she's
Yeah.
bloody here, right?
And she pours
On the left side of her face.
Yes.
And there's a scene when they're on the bed together, her and Kyle Gallner, and he is drugged. And then she climbs on top of him and starts doing something that you can't see. It looks like to the side of his face. And I'm like, is this like a shapeshifter of some sort? Because,
Oh.
and like they switched bodies somehow. And now he's chasing her because of but no, wait, I was way off.
I would have thought something more like metaphysical, like the two characters that you think you're following are not seeing themselves as they are kind of shit.
Mhm.
Like he's actually her. Like the movie tricked you,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? But no, it's like shot awesome. It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
It's paced really, really well. It's a tight hour and 35 minutes.
That's I was so
there's
excited.
there's no boredom
meat.
in this movie.
No
Yeah.
meat, or sorry, no
fat?
fat.
No, no
There's no meat either. It's
Yeah.
bones. It's fucking bones.
No vegetables, no meat. It's an empty plate.
You know why there's no meat? These actors gnawed off every morsel.
There you go. Yeah,
And
it
it's
was
just
fantastic.
all the necessary spine. No, this is good as shit. Filled with poop.
I
and pus.
like in the very beginning when we started doing the chapter out of order, I was like, oh, we're Quentin Tarantinoing this. Like, why? What's the point of this? Very good point for it.
It was
Yeah,
really good.
really
point.
well. Yeah,
a
really well done.
good point. And it was, it was just so good.
Yeah.
And Costa was funny after the movie ended, and he, in his very Costa way, was like, "Call me crazy." When that movie started out, I thought the guy with the gun was going to be the killer. I was like,
He's
Jump
a
into
75-year-old man.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you're sure.
Well,
Dad
listen.
joking it up.
yep.
No, this is a really, really good movie.
It's a
I really
banger.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle Gallner is cool as hell too.
I was delighted to see him because he's an actor that I've seen doing smaller parts
Mhm.
throughout the past maybe 10 years or something. And it kind of disappeared. I was like, oh, he's in Scream. Fun. Oh,
Yeah.
he's gone. Never mind.
Yeah.
So the
Oh,
fact that
my.
he's got a starring role here, I was like, good for him.
Yeah. He's in
Smile.
when he's Smile, but when he was young, I think he's Jennifer's Body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's got
Said
the
that, I missed
painted
that.
nails
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the,
yeah.
He was also Bart Allen in Smallville.
Was he? Was that Kyle Gallner? That's
the
right.
Flash.
That's right. Is
Yeah,
there-
he crushed it in this.
He's great. I enjoy him a lot. And he picks really weird movies, which is great.
Can I talk about the throat biting
It's gross.
scene and how gross that was, and how they just, yep,
That was like
yep,
accurate.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just like slowly bleeding out. Yeah.
Like, and it was like when I was, so please describe it. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
All I could think of was the timing of the technician for the special effect.
Yeah.
Because they had it to where he's like
Breathing.
catching his breath,
Yep.
and then every time he breathes in or out,
It squirts out of his
squirts
neck.
out. So like
Ugh.
all I kept like, first of all, it was gross. I was like, yeah, he's fucking dead. But then I was thinking like, so there's right off camera, there's a technician who has to time it with his breath in
Yeah.
the right motion. And
Yeah.
how many times have they had to do that? Thank God they didn't have to reset up a shot because he's already really bloody.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just that cool shit. And then knowing too, it was shot on 35,
Yes.
meaning,
Oh my God. Yeah.
meaning all takes are precious as hell
Yeah.
because that costs so much more money than shooting on digital. It looked grainy and good.
Yeah, no, it looked great. I just, when it came up, I was like, okay, this movie is shot entirely on 35 millimeter. Oh, okay.
Oh, I
Why
thought
did
you
you
meant
tell
those-
us that?
The throat biting thing.
It matters to a lot of people.
It just felt strange.
Pretentious.
Yes,
There you go.
that's a word. Yeah,
I mean, you enjoy Quentin Tarantino.
I do. I don't give a shit about what he says about
There's a
what
level-
cameras you need to use.
Yeah, but he does stuff like that.
Yeah,
with
I
like,
just don't
yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when he does it, I don't care. And I'm like, "Ugh, all right, buddy, just fuck. Put it.
That's what I mean. Like it's
Yeah.
that genre of filmmaker that's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'm
I
proud
loved
of you.
the throat bitey scene.
But it did look really good.
Oh,
Like the movie
great. It
looked
looked
really
great.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything about this movie is baller as far as I'm concerned. This was such a surprise for me.
Also, the opening chase scene, chapter 3. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but she's driving a red car and she's dressed in all red and she's standing in the middle of the road and he like drives. It's almost like, and then she jumps out of the way. It's like the bull
Like
with
a
the matador.
Toro, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was cool.
Also, speaking of I'm talking about a car shot in the previous movie, Nekrotronic. The car shots in this where they're far away and they just come at the camera and then at the last second go whoop. Right.
Yep.
It's like,
Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out how they did that because obviously like a 35 millimeter camera usually is it's got a casing, so it's a little bit bigger. So I was a digital camera, whatever. It's like this fucking big. You just put it in the road and drive over it. But for a larger camera, I think they had like a short ramp and then cranked it up. So it looked like it was coming in faster, just goes up a little bit because the camera, it does go right over the camera and then continues the next car. Something like there had to be a way for them to just kind of like bump over a little bit and then they can crank up to speed. Yeah. But it was really fucking effective.
Yeah.
So good.
The movie's
And
great.
they do it twice and it's like one shot, I think.
It's one shot. It's like two cars after each other. So there's no cutting.
Mm-hmm.
What a wild ride, man. I really like
I Dylan, am I full of shit? Like larger housing for the actual film, you'd have to have some sort of thing because it's a normal road. Unless they dug into the road and set the camera there.
I haven't seen the shot you're referring to.
I hate you so much.
You're dead to me.
I hate you so much.
Let's see. Just watched him in Dinner in America, says Chris. Oh, Carl, shot by Giovanni Ribisi. That's right.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. Very cool. I like that guy. I wish he did more acting. What?
He's fine. He's a Scientologist. He's weird.
Fuck.
He's
Doesn't
a
make
good
him a
actor.
bad actor.
Yeah, it makes supporting him feel weird.
But yeah, The Smiles, Scream, Jennifer's Body, Smallville, Veronica. Oh, he's in Veronica Mars, which is a show I'm watching right now.
That's right. He is in Veronica Mars.
I too rolled my eyes when it first started, and they were Tarantino-ing it. Yes. Yeah. Anything else we want to talk about?
That was a good movie.
Soundtrack?
2 great movies.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I did get a little annoyed with the score, the menacing stings that took over the whole soundtrack. So like the slow paced standards was fine, but then every time the demon showed up on screen, it was just like, I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Menacing, but it happened a lot.
No, I didn't even catch it. I didn't notice it. I was so into this movie.
It was good. It was good as hell.
What's happening?
I wish I saw this in the theater blind.
And deaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. Physically blind. I don't mean like without information.
Yeah.
I wish I was sitting in a theater seat, unable to enjoy the senses around me.
He's the voice of the talk show guy in the Sasquatch stuff.
Oh, that the mountain people are listening to that are like
Ribisi,
projecting out. I did like the mountain people too. I thought they were
Wait, who's the voice of the talk show guy in the Sasquatch?
Ribisi?
Ribisi.
Giovanni Ribisi.
Yeah, I know Tom Cruise is. I also feel weird about supporting him too. Yeah.
I when I got to Barbara Hershey and Ed Begley Jr., they were so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's this long
What
shot
the fuck
of them
are they
just,
eating?
Right? That meal that was just a heart
was
attack.
all butter.
Yeah.
Chris and I were watching it, and I was like, "Are they the killers?
Yeah.
This is unhinged.
Un-
Like, this is."
Yeah, it was the most unhinged
Dylan,
breakfast.
hear this. Okay. And if I missed something, remind me. Okay.
Butter.
One entire stick of butter.
Yeah.
in a little frying pan.
No, it was like a cast
yeah,
iron.
cast iron, yeah.
One entire stick of butter melted. 5 eggs in the melted butter.
Yep.
Move that over. Another stick of butter and then batter for pancakes.
Mhm.
And then they switched it over. So it was
sausage.
Yeah, and sausage.
And probably bacon, if I remember.
No, just sausage.
I think it
bacon,
was just sausage.
But then it was a pancake, the buttered eggs, a bunch of sausage piled on,
And butter.
more butter,
Just raw butter.
a shit ton of jam, the other pancake,
Whipped cream.
Whipped cream.
syrup first.
Syrup.
Oh,
lots and lots of
God.
syrup, and then whipped cream, and both of them were just delighted.
Yeah.
But it was
It was just the most random scene.
the whole thing is shot overhead of the stove and
Yeah.
just hands working,
Yeah.
and you're like, this is a 20-minute sequence
Yeah,
of
yeah.
them making the most artery clogging breakfast none of these flavors go together.
Yeah.
I was waiting for
engaged,
peanut
though.
butter.
I was like, what
Yeah.
else is going in this pan?
But then you find out about them, and I loved Ed Begley Jr. is in this movie for maybe
Mm.
2 minutes,
Mm.
but everything that comes out of his mouth is gold.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Like she describes him as hippies, and he just wants to
Like,
clarify,
biker.
I'm more of a biker, not a hippie. But then I've got an Indian in the back, doesn't really run. I'm like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
I just want to watch you.
Yeah, he's great. Oh, thank you so much, Carl Carls and Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight for sending us those recommendations. Just a blast. We had a blast this week, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
If there's any other movies you want us to watch, let us know.
Bring it on.
Please do.
Yeah, this was wonderful. Honestly, do you think you would have clocked it if you didn't have all the stuff about twists?
Honestly, probably.
Yeah.
Only because of the way the movie was structured.
Mm-hmm.
It's structured to not give you vital information,
Yeah.
which primes you to wait for a shoe to drop.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably.
Okay.
Like I would probably be like kind of expecting something to go down.
Mhm.
But then that it was validated by all the fucking advertising. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it offers you a freedom of just like, I don't think twists and surprises are worth it unless there is something to back it up.
Yeah.
They are just shock and then the awe comes after. If it's just shock, like with Shyamalan movies, with
Shyamalan.
I know, I overthought it.
Yeah.
If it's just shock or just a twist with no like drive or meat, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Mm.
But so the surprise doesn't really matter to me as long as there's like something driving it. So I didn't mind. I really didn't mind.
Yeah.
It was just like, if somebody led with, you're going to love it because it's just surprising. I'm like, no, you're going to love it because it's like really well put together.
Yeah.
It's acted incredibly.
Mm.
And the shots are fantastic. That's why you should love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Not because like, ooh, she's really the killer. Like,
Yeah.
fuck off. That's
Yeah.
not what the movie's about, right?
Yeah. We
So
do
I-
love women in male dominated fields though. So
Serial, yeah.
Serial
We need
killer.
more lady serial killers,
Yeah.
electric ladies. Oh, but that's my favorite was her shot dying.
Oh my God, slowly in the
The
car.
camera stayed on her.
And then
And as-
slowly goes black and white.
Yeah, the color left the screen as she was dying, but it was
she had
it
the
was
whole
a
monologue about like not wanting to die. Yeah.
Yep.
and I also she took 3 guns
I was reading about this.
and she kept her hand in her coat. I'm like, so when is she going to pull out the other gun and shoot this lady?
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was going to happen, but I guess not.
So did I. And that's why I was reading about it. And I think according to the Wikipedia summary, which interestingly enough, they tell it in order. They tell it not out of order like the movie. They're like, and they say that in the beginning. They're like, the movie isn't sequential, but we're just going to do a sequential. She's like trying to reach for one of the guns, but just like is dying because she was shot in the side and like can't. But yeah, that's allegedly what's happening is as she's like, because I thought and Costa thought too that she was like grabbing her wound, but according to Wikipedia, she was looking for her other gun.
Okay.
Yeah, because she took both cops' guns and she had the smaller piece.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Yeah. She was so good in this.
I also did
I hope
think
to see
for
more of her.
maybe it's overthinking, but I also did think for a second. So there's a sequence where the cops come in, and the older gentleman is like, no, we have to do this by procedure, and we don't know if she's the victim or not. And then the female cop is, telling him he's a misogynist pig, and this is not how it goes. That sequence went on for so long in kind of a way that I did think for a second, like, is the director writer trying to make a statement here?
It
And if
rubs
so,
me in a weird way.
What is
Yeah.
it? Because, right?
Yeah.
It does, it feels a little icky.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Yeah.
I meant to touch on that too. I didn't love it. I even brought it up to Costa afterwards. I was like, I felt a little weird about that. And then about him being right in the end that she was lying about rape allegations and like, I should have gone with my gut. She's lying. And I'm like,
It feels like the nuance of like a Joe Rogan conversation, right? That bothered me a little bit, but then I was like, it's fine. Just keep going. Like, we're, like the thrust of it is getting this deceptive person to the next beat. So I was like, it's fine. But then it went on long enough to be like,
it was a longish scene, and yeah.
Anyway,
Christopher Goodnight.
that has nothing to do with your vagina. That was a line in the movie.
Oh, I was like,
Yeah,
what's
like
happening?
because the lady,
Going on.
the female cop was just like, just because I have a vagina doesn't mean
that's right.
he's like, this has nothing to do with your vagina.
Right.
And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, okay.
Yeah, that whole interaction was a little.
It was very pointed, right? I'm not crazy.
No, it was.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, no, I totally forgot about that too. But as I was watching, I was like, what's happening here? Why are we doing this?
There are sometimes when like something will happen or a choice we made where you feel like you question like, what is the perspective of God? It happened in, I think I was reading something Alan Moore, Necronomicon. The main character is a female detective who is. Did you read Necronomicon?
No,
is this
we
one of those
haven't.
weird ass things that I was
Post
like,
to Reddit.
give it a shot because it's weird as fuck.
Yeah.
There's I might spoil it. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
A female detective who just came back from medical leave. You find out it's because she had a sex addiction, pretty much slept with all of her colleagues, and has gotten over it and gotten help and therapy and whatnot. But then the plot puts her in a place where she's constantly raped by a Cthulhu demon. And it's just like, okay, so you gave her this kind of promiscuous background. Everyone defines her that way. And then you put her in a position to be raped to birth a god. What are you saying?
Hold on.
Alan Moore.
Are you trying to say that Alan Moore might be weird?
Oh, no, I just like
creepy.
Weird or creepy. If you have a larger kind of thing you're trying to say with this matching with this, I can't tell what the fuck it is because they are not congruous with each other. And that's kind of in a small way what this scene felt like. It's like you're making a point to have this very loud conversation about believing a victim and or versus a perpetrator. And you're like, this is going on really long. It doesn't comport with the rest of the movie. Is this something you're trying to say? Are you trying to be believable?
Right.
Because it's coming off weird.
Yeah, I think the way I kind of decided to take it was that it's really just her whole thing is the deception of being a female serial killer, right? And like that's how every person she meets on her way trying to get away from Kyle Gallner's character, the demon, is using her femininity as a way to get in with the people to get them to help her.
Well,
Can you swap the roles of the cops though and still make that point?
Oh, yeah, sure, probably.
And that would not be the same conversation we're having now if it was the female cop trying to tell him this is not procedure and we don't know, and him being bullish about believing.
I would have liked that a lot better, actually.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like it's the way that it was presented was very
women be crazy.
Interesting versus the point that maybe they were trying to make of she is deceiving based off of preconceived notions.
Yeah, I think
that it made me think about it longer than I should have had.
Yeah, no, it went on too long, but he was trying to play off of the like, even the audience in the beginning of the movie just automatically assumed she's the victim.
Yeah,
she's the woman. She's the victim in this scenario. So
also running in slow motion and being bloody.
Yeah,
helped a little too.
Didn't help, but yeah.
But I think the point would have been the same. It would have been better if it was the female cop trying to tell, like the veteran female cop trying to tell the young deputy, like, this has nothing to do with my vagina. This has to do with procedure, and we don't know if she's the victim yet.
So much better. Dang it. Still like the movie though. Great movie. That one little
great movie.
Yeah. Christopher Goodnight says there's a plot point in season 1 of The Magicians that makes me feel really icky.
Ooh, I haven't watched.
There's a lot of that in media, my dude.
We read the novel of The Magicians way before the show happened. It was a book club book. There's some interesting choices in there. Yeah. All right. Oh, and Carl says Gauntlet Throne. I will see what other Aussie genre films I can throw at you.
Please.
Awesome.
I do want to see Wormwood eventually. I just don't know if we'll do it on the show.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I saw that years ago. I remember it was really fun. That and Doomsday.
Yeah,
they feel similar to me.
I guess we're talking Aussie movies. Anything by Neil Marshall, anything by the Spierig brothers. So, Daybreakers.
Oh, that was fun.
Undead. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out with
Predestination.
us. Predestination.
That was them.
We reviewed that
That's
on the
Aussie.
show too. That's fun. That's Aussie. Oh yeah. Join us Wednesday mornings for Fresh Floppies, where Noel and I talk about the comics that are coming out that day, but without spoilers. One dropped today. You can go listen to it on Spotify, iTunes, all the blah, 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 blah. Wasn't able to throw it up on YouTube this week because my Premiere Pro is not working. So sorry. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget to check out Inside the Morgue with Alice and Jess. And we'll talk at you later. Mwah.
Do-do-do.
Skiddly-dee-doo.
Doop.
Young John!